Today I am going to try to see how fast I can do a full face of what I think would be usable makeup for drag. I have shaved and I've cleansed and I've moisturized. I'm not doing face tapes today because I just had a procedure done along my jawline and I'm still kind of no, I am very swollen from it still. So I just don't want to put, I don't want to tug and I don't want to pull because of that. So no face tapes again today, but pretty soon I won't even need them. So I'm going to start with a primer. This is the Morphe Priming Beauty Oil. And just putting that on like moisturizer. And next I need to color correct. For that I'm using the MAC Prep and Prime highlighter, and this is in the color Peach Luster. So it just twists up into the brush, which makes it really easy to use. I'm going to tap that in with a Real Techniques. This is their Expert Edge Large. And just tapping that in. Blend it out a little bit. And then, as you guys may now know, I like to contour underneath my foundation. So I'm using the MAC Studio Fix Soft Matte Foundation Stick in the color NW50. That's going to be my cheek contour, forehead, and then the sculpting of the jaw. And I want to try to do this video in real time so we can really see how long it takes me to do this makeup. Oh no, I'm missing my stippling brush. Oh, there it is. All right, so taking the Real Techniques stippling brush, I'm just gonna soften but not completely blend the contour because I don't want it to disappear once I put the full coverage foundation on. So we need to leave enough for it to still make some impact. And then making that beige rainbow across the forehead, or what will become the beige rainbow. And then kind of minimizing here behind the jaw, and then coming up underneath the jaw. And then that kind of just squares it out, and then can come down, just soften that line a little bit. And we'll do the same thing on this side. It's going to be kind of hard to blend that, so I'm going to be taking my pictures like this today because this side is not nearly as swollen as this side. All right, let's do this. Just buff this out just a little bit more. Okay, now for foundation, the Real Techniques Miracle Air Blend Sponge, and I'm using MAC Studio Fix Fluid SPF 15, and this is a C4 and C4.5. I think I'm almost out of this. I don't know if the pump doesn't want to pick it up anymore, so that's cool. I'm ready for a new color anyway. So I'm just going to dump some of this from the bottle, just getting some of that onto the sponge. And then we're just going to cover everything up. And I start my application down here because I need more coverage on the lower half of my face because of my beard. So really kind of blending and working the contour and beard cover, and then working it up into the forehead, and then bringing it into the center of the face where we really need the least amount of makeup. And it just helps keep the makeup from looking mask-like if we apply it in this way. And tapping this air blend sponge really makes easy work out of it. And I'm going to cover up my eyebrows. I'm not covering up my hair, but I'm covering up the microblading I have, which the full coverage makeup will do. And then once everything just feels adequately covered and blended, then we're going to highlight. And to highlight with, I'm going to use the Morphe highlighter. This is, let's see here. Oh, it doesn't tell me. It's just the Morphe. I think it's the concealer. It is in the color C1.45. So I'm going to come in here and come up here like that. Reload. Same thing on this side. And then let's get the nose. And then that guy there. Let's fill in these shadows because they haven't gone away yet. They're on their way. And then I want to cut the jaw a little bit. I think that's good. And I like to work this concealer in with a brush. My favorite, here we go. This is the Real Techniques Soft Accent Brush. Yes, Soft Accent Brush. So it's kind of got a beveled edge to it. So that works well at really working the product into the kind of nooks and crannies that we get around the areas of the face that we are predominantly highlighting. And I'm just working this in, smoothing it in, blending it in, and using a tapping motion so that it doesn't smear, it just blends. And then coming over on the other side, really working on filling in that trough and then angling the brush to sweep it to the outside corner of the eye. Where then this guy we can pick up, and this really helps to lift the eyes up, bringing your concealer out, up into your hairline, just following that line, and then just kind of sweep it down onto the cheeks a little bit, just to help blend and illuminate and push forward the center of the face. And we'll go ahead and tap in the nose. And then into the forehead, just creating that soft focus spotlight here. And then filling in this area, which has a little bit of depression, which is natural during the aging process, which sucks. So we're just gonna pop that shadow out with a little bit of concealer. And then we'll just get these guys. Let's drag these guys down. A little bit more aggressive with this guy, I think. It also helps to keep the line really kind of straight and sharp, which I think works for the purpose of that area. Okay, that looks good. That is everything for powder. We're about 9.5 minutes in. Taken a large powder puff and my MAC setting powder in Invisible, and I'm just going to use a pressing and rolling motion to set this makeup. And since this is a timed makeup application, I'm not going to dust this off and then repowder under the eyes to bake. We're just going to leave this powder on the face to act as our safety net for any fallout from the eyeshadow that we're using. So just working my way all around, and I'm really tapping. I'm not swiping because I don't want to move the makeup around. And this is translucent powder, so it's not really a baking powder because there's nothing to it to add any extra colors. But I am going to take a little bit of extra underneath the eyes just to help protect and safeguard that under eye area from the eyeshadow. All right. Let's see. So moving on, let's get started with the eyes, and we'll just work our way from light to dark, I think. I'm using the Pat McGrath Eye Ecstasy Sublime Eyeshadow Palette. It's got these 5 guys on it, and I'm starting with this guy right here. This is Sextrovert, I think. And using a Real Techniques Bold Metals Collection 200 eyeshadow brush. This is really just going to kind of go lower lid up into the crease. And softening it, really blending it and working it in. We can take it all the way up to the brow because it's going to be somewhat of a smoky eye, so we can work that up there. Next I want to move on to a Real Techniques, this is an Instapop shade brush. It's a larger angled brush, and this is going to be really useful for doing contour work. So going into this guy here, this is Corruption, and I'm gonna start creating my crease or my contour here, the shadow for it. Just swiping it into the inside of the eyebrow from the outside edge of the eye, following the brow bone into the inside socket. Really kind of loading this color up here, really build up some depth fast and easily with this brush. I think pretty quick work of what would otherwise be a daunting task here. All right, going back into that first Real Techniques brush, just on the outside here, kind of buffing that edge just on the top. That's it. That's all we need to do. Let's see. Now, this is a Real Techniques Instapop crease brush. So it's just like the Instapop shade brush we just used, but it has a smaller version of that. So it's good, really getting into the socket. And for that, we're going to do Illicit, which is the darkest of these 5 colors on this palette, and then loading that up into the brush and then just concentrating it right here in that crease line, and we're not going to sweep it up like we did the previous color. We need to keep that previous color there so that when we blend this, we have a graduation of color which creates that cut crease look. And then to blend that, I'm using a Real Techniques, let's see here, this is the Defining Crease Brush. And I'm just gonna soften that contour color into the contour shadow, leaving a little bit more of that color deposit right here along the bottom line to create more of that crease, and then softening it to create the shadow as it rolls up the brow bone. And I like to close off the outside of my eye, so I'm going to use that same color that we just used. And from here to my lashes, I'm just going to connect that line and then sweep it in. Longer strokes towards the lashes, shorter strokes as you get up towards the crease. And then you can pop it up a little bit if you want, like that. And then right in with the defining crease brush again. And we're just going to soften and smudge that line there. And let's repeat that on the other side. So we're going to close that off, and then we're going to sweep it in. Again, longer strokes towards the lashes, shorter strokes as we work up towards the crease. And then just pop that color up a little bit over the crease. And then using this guy to blend that line and soften and diffuse the shadow there. For the brow bone, we'll use another Instapop crease brush, and then going into this lightest color right here, Sinful, I'm going to put that on the brow bone. I'm not going all the way in, just kind of halfway. And then just past the tail to kind of the end of the contour color. We're really focusing it here under the arch, because that's where we really want to lift the brow up. Now I am going to pull out a MAC Dazzle Shadow Liquid. Let's see, let's use, this one is Every Day is Sunshine, and I'm just going to create a little pocket right here on the inside for a flash of like a foil color, and then that will also really help to pop and cut through that crease. Reload the brush, bring it over onto the other side, and just do the same thing, starting on the inside corner and then just following the natural shape of the bone there. And then this time we're doing the opposite that we did with the contour. We did longer sweeps towards the lashes and then shorter moving up this way. This shorter here, longer on the top, just to draw in that shape that was created with those earlier eyeshadow colors. And then to help soften it, we'll put a little bit of eyeshadow over this. And if you like a more dramatic look, then you can just leave it like this with the Dazzle Shadow, but I do want a little bit of a sultrier, smokier eye. So using another Instapop crease brush, this is the same one I used for the highlighter, I'm going to go into this middle color right here, Gold Nectar, and I'm just going to tap that onto the Dazzle Shadow. So this kind of gives it like a gold foil effect. And then moving on to eyeliner, I'm using the Morphe color pencil in the color Bar, and I'm going to line the inside and outside of my eye, both upper and lower lashes. So I want to create a soft, smoky line here. And then just kind of bring this up to the corner of the eye to create some extra depth here. and then bringing it underneath. Don't go all the way into the inside corner, and then in the waterline, or on the waterline. I'll do the same thing on this eye, and now all the waterworks are going to start. All right, so taking the Instapop crease brush that we have with the darker color on it, I'm going to go back into that darkest color that we were using, which is Illicit, and I'm going to go over the eyeliner using a tapping motion to just further set and blend. And I'm not going to go up into the crease or the contour because that doesn't need to be any darker or higher than it already is. And then as I work my way under the eye, using the shadow again as kind of like a powder to smudge and blend the pencil. And then you see all this fallout here. I don't have to be too worried about it because I have that powder down there to protect it. And then to further blend the under eye area, I'm going to go in with that defining crease brush and just kind of sweep underneath and blend and blur and kind of smoke out that bottom line a little bit more. Okay, so I think we're done with a lot of the darker shadows for the most part, so we can go ahead and dust off all this powder now. And then I'm going to go into eyebrows. I like to do my eyebrows after the eyeshadow, but before my eyelashes, because the eyelashes can kind of create an impediment, like just an obstacle. They just get in the way. It's a lot of powder, guys. Ay. Okay, so now that's done. Let's get to gut 10 with the brows. For that, I'm using the Urban Decay Brow Blade. I'm going to use the waterproof pencil to kind of create the shape, and then the ink stain to add those little hairline strokes. So I'm just following the natural shape of my brow and kind of filling it in. I don't take the pencil all the way to the inside. I like to leave that a little bare so that the hair strokes can show up more. And then once I get to the arch, I turn to the side and kind of reposition, and then just come straight down from there. I don't like a super perfect brow. I think they should look intentionally done. They shouldn't look like mistakes. But I don't like that cookie cutter look to make up. So I like things that have just a little bit of an edge to them, I think. So just filling in any darker patches there, making sure that the shape for the fullness feels appropriate for both brows. And now I can go in with the ink stain and create little hairline strokes and fill in that shadow a little bit more. Little tiny hairline strokes, I think, are the key. And if you are not in a situation where you can use the shadow of your brows or your own brows as a template, then I'd say get one of those brow stampers with a stencil and use that. And then if you want, you could always go in with like some eyeshadow on an angle brush, wet the eyeshadow with some water, and then use that to create your hairline strokes over the brow pomade that comes with those stampers. I'd be kind of interested to try it out myself. All right, now that that's done, let's do blush. For blush today, I'm using the Trixie Mattel Mod About You blush palette, starting with the Real Techniques blush brush, going into Go Go Girl. And that's going to go on the contour. I'm really just kind of following my contour that I laid down underneath the foundation, and then moving that up here. And I'm using blush instead of bronzer today because I want something that just looks a little different, and it will work, and it saves us time. And we'll put a little bit down here. And on this swollen side too. All right, now taking a Real Techniques fan brush and Plush Bunny, and I'm going to use this on the apple of my cheeks. And then just help to blend a little bit through there and through here. And now for highlighter, using a Real Techniques Rebel Edge medium and going into Creamsicle. And then a little on the forehead. I like to do a little on the lips, hair. You can do a little on the chin, but not too much. And then for the nose, I just like to use my finger. It gives me it's the perfect width I need for like a nose highlight. A little bit on the tip here. This up a little bit. Okay, let's set everything at this point because I feel like that's what I want to do right now. Okay, setting spray, it's Jeffree Star from Morphe. It's no longer, I'm using it up. Same stuff that's in the black Morphe cans, just branded for Jeffree Star, who I guess is no longer with the Morphe crew. Lightly tapping it in with my Real Techniques powder brush. We are at 29 minutes. I wanted this to be a 30-minute makeup, but I don't think it's going to be because we've got lashes. So I've got my Duo eyelash adhesive. I've got some custom lashes here. I am going to load them up with some of this eyelash adhesive and try to pop them on. I am at this point going to pause because I need to grab my blow dryer because I have to use air to get these lashes to stick to my eyes, otherwise they won't. So I'm going to pause and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I've just got my lashes on, and to finish up the eyes, let's put a little bit of mascara on the bottom lashes, just to kind of clean them up and get rid of any powder that's on them. And then I've got a little bit of glitter, and that I've got some MAC Dazzle liner, and so I'm going to put that here on the inside of each eye. And then take some of that glitter, the matte gold glitter, and place that right on top of that Dazzle liner, which will act as a glue for the glitter. Just a second dip in there. And then just a little extra something in the eye, and then make sure to wipe off the glitter before you put the thing back in there. Let's see. Okay, that takes care of that. Now for lips, I'm using Runway Rogue Designer Liner in the colors Start the Show and Nude Awakening, and their Velvet Glam lipstick in, sorry, not their Velvet Glam. This is 90s Vibe, the 90s Vibe, and Work the Crowd and Guest List. So starting with Start the Show, I'm going to line the outside of my lips with this darker pencil and then soften the line with the lighter pencil here. These liners are really creamy. They go on super fast. They just glide on. So just following the natural line. Of my lips. And then just going slightly past that. And now moving on to Nude Awakening. And also, guys, these are automatic pencils, so they twist up and down. But if you ever need to sharpen them, with these pencils specifically, you pull off the back. There's a pencil in here, pencil sharpener. So you can twist it up, sharpen the pencil, twist it back down. Look at that. I think that's pretty freaking cool. So you just clean that out like so, and each pencil has a built-in sharpener on the back. So Runway Rogue Designer Liner. Okay, this is going to just smudge the line. And then taking a Real Techniques lip brush, I'm going to work those two liners together. Okay, so now that those are blended, we're going to go in with our two lipsticks. First one we're going in is Work the Crowd. Oops. Oh, okay, don't panic. Okay, I did it on both. So here's what we're going to do. Take the darker lip liner and just connect the dots here. There we go. Beautiful. All right, 5.5 minutes, so that's 10.5, so we're at 40, so 45-minute makeup. Okay. Rub the lips together, work it in a little bit with the brush. Refining that line, and then taking guest list right in the center here. And then diffuse the edge with the brush, but don't go into the center where you just put that down. And then it gives you just a little bit of like a pop to the lip, right? All right, let's give it one more set. Okay, now I gotta go grab some hair. I'll be right back. Okay, I just picked this hair because it's super easy. Let me get rid of this. I'm gonna put on this wig saver, edge saver. Here. Alright, there it is. Okay, so I think that was 45 minutes. So it was like 35, no, 30, it was 30, and then 5 for the lashes off camera. So that was 35. And now we're here at 8 minutes and 20 seconds, so 43 minutes. So just under 45 minutes to do a full face of makeup. Alright guys, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave those in the comment section downstairs, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.